Aloha guys, this is Joyce from Enjoy Scrappin' Too. Today we'll be making this card. I'll be using this W+9 stamp set, Going Places. This is a super cute stamp set. There's all of these critters that can either go inside of the hot air balloon or they can hang off of the balloon. So it's a really versatile set. And I'll be doing some watercoloring, a quick watercoloring, and I stamped some things out already, and then I put the masking tape all around this watercolor paper, and I already stamped out the hot air balloon, as you can see. And then I'm going to use this watercolor set. This is a really inexpensive watercolor set, so you don't have to spend a whole lot of money if you want to just try out some watercolors. Something like this would be good to start off with. And I'm going to be doing some embossing, so I use the embossing thing, EK Success embossing tool, to prep my cardstock. I'm going to use the Versamark, and I'll be stamping the clouds. So I want the clouds to be just here and there scattered, but I can't see where I stamped, so I'll have to put the embossing powder on and then go ahead and continue to stamp my clouds. And I'm sorry if you hear banging noises in the background. My neighbor is doing some work on their house. So I'm just scattering the clouds here and there. There's two different size clouds in this stamp set, and I love the whimsical look of these clouds. So some of them you can see I stamped over the hot air balloon. That's okay because we're going to go ahead and color it separately, and we're going to attach it. So I just want some clouds all over, and I'm using a white embossing powder. So when we do the background, you can see the clouds. So you can see where I stamped out the clouds now, and I'm taking off the excess that's on the tape. Go ahead and heat my heat gun and emboss the clouds. So when you see it shiny, that's when you know that it's embossed. You can see some of the tape coming off, so I have to place it back down. When you tape down your watercolor cardstock, it helps with the warping, especially when you add a whole lot of water. And I basically added a whole lot of water, and I kind of went around the clouds because I wanted the inside of the clouds to stay a little bit lighter. And then I'm just using a big fat brush and choosing one of the color here, and then I'm just going to go ahead and place it. So as you can see, these watercolor cakes are pretty colorful. So the colors are really bright. So if you want to try out some of the watercolors, this is a very inexpensive set that you can try out. So I'm just kind of dabbing here and there. I'm not making it perfectly even because I don't want it to be even. And here I grab this lighter of the blue and I'm kind of putting some inside of the clouds as well. But you can really see the clouds now. This also have these little wells on the side of the top actually that you can use as the mixing thing if you like. Now as you can see, I have another hot air balloon and a rabbit that I pre-stamped onto another watercolor cardstock, and I'm going to quickly go ahead and color these. I'm not going to get really fussy with the coloring. I want the coloring to look really loose. So because I'll be fussy cutting these out, as you can see, I'm coloring it off of the line because I want only the one side of the bunny to be a little bit darker. Here I'm adding some pink. When you're layering on colors, it's best to let it dry and then layer on top. Now I'm coloring the hot air balloon, coloring it red on each side. So you can prep these watercolor by adding a little bit of water on the ones that you're going to use, and it will soften it up more, giving you more pigment and color, which I didn't do here. So I started off very light, and then I will go back with another, either like a darker color. As you can see here, I'm adding some darker color on one side. Sorry about that noise. And then I'm using yellow here for the center of these hot air balloons. So I'll go back and forth. And now I'm using some purple for the little banner thing. Just keep in mind that when you're layering on a lot of color with these specific watercolor paint cakes, they kind of obscure the black line. So you want to make sure to not go over too much of the black line with these specific watercolors. So I'm putting a lot of score tape on this watercolor piece because it did warp a little because of all the water that I added. So I added plenty of score tape on the back. And I have this bright blue cardstock as my mat here. This is a 110-pound Nina top folding card. So I scored it at 5.5. Now I'm going to go ahead and attach this right onto the card base. So watercolors, they dry lighter. So as you can see, the background is very light and subtle, and I like that. So as you can see, I fussy cut all of the images that we watercolored, and I also went around the edges with the black Memento ink. And now I'm adding some foam adhesive, and I'm gonna just pop it up. And I added some foam adhesive to the bunny and have him hanging out of the hot air balloon. I think it's super cute. And I forgot to put some foam on the ear, so it was kind of flopping around. So I cut a small piece and then I just tucked it behind his ears. So I added some glossy accents to the hot air balloon in the basket. And I've also added some clear rhinestone along with this gold heart right by the sentiment that says hang in there. So I really like the way it turned out. I hope you guys like this card, and thank you so much for stopping by, and check out all the links to the supplies I've used for this card, and I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks so much. Bye.